drop the ball, I'm gonna touch you, and then
you're gonna fall down. Oh!
Okay. And then you're gonna like interact with them.
okay.
Alright, here we go.
We're rolling.
You can toss the ball down there.
To me, metal means you can be primal. Like you can have your. It's like there's no limits, no boundaries. You can jam out to anything. You can be cleaning the floor, or you can be working out, or you can be even studying, or you can be duking it out. That's what I love about metal.
Well, metal to me means liberty, thinking for yourself, just not giving a shit about the world and all the violence and politics and all the bad stuff that happens around the world. Like metal is a gateway to escape from that, and a lot of bands do sing about political and social issues, and also metal symbols rebellion against the establishment of music, and it's also, a middle finger approach to the mainstream, because everybody is just so fed up with commercial music. Representing Scotland.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much, Lassie. You're filming this now? That's what I thought you were doing. No, that's just me getting my Scottish character.
Rolling? Yeah, we're rolling. Okay, here we go, guys. One more?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it'll look like a dark beer.
But it's Coke. It's the big one there.
Yeah. Bigger the better.
I can protect the dark beer.
Hold it sideways.
There you go. Now you can see it. Yeah.
I think this term metalhead, there are a lot of false stereotypes around it. People think that to be a metalhead is to wear black clothes, long hair, be aggressive, close-minded person, but in my experience it's completely the opposite. You can be anything you want to be and wear whatever you want to wear, as long as you're open-minded and you're ready to listen to some new genres, to be ready for a music that's hard to digest in the first listen, to search for new boundaries.
I found metal very helpful for discovering possibilities of opera and pursuing that as a career, because I remember when I was taking my music school back home, I'd be looking at those operas and listening to them, constantly thinking it's something unreachable and impossible for regular human being to achieve. The university degree I'm getting right now has been the right choice. Putting it into metal put me that much closer to opera and made me realize that I am capable of doing things like that. So many great, phenomenal professors who know nothing about metal and rock, only classical music, have made such a dramatic input on my personality and my musicianship. that I have adopted into the metal world.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Cool.
Now,
The ice wine, right?
yes, the ice wine seems important.
Okay, hey, Kat, let's have you count it down and set it for that one.
Yeah.
Just so
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
We've got, oh, here we go. Girls down in front, guys up on stage.
It has to look Russian.
So, like, girls, you go. There is a place I know. Together with it. There is a place I know where the ice melts into its light. Ice is better than yours.
Everybody dance.
Everybody dancing now.
Everybody.
Are you ready to talk? Get ready! Be the colors in school. Running by with it.
I think what attracts people to metal is that raw energy that music has. It captivates you, you know, it consumes you. When you're in this mindset of aggressive music, it has some kind of healing power, I think. And of course the lyrical themes. I think in metal lyrics are very important, and it's so diverse nowadays. So you have lyrics almost about anything. So it doesn't matter what you like, you'll find something in metal that appeals to you specifically.
To drink, that's the wishes to take on home. We'll give you a reason to think why you're no longer number one.
There we go.
Canadian! Oi, oi, oi! Mountains, oi, oi, oi! We are running out of brew. Aye, aye, aye! Tear it apart! Tonight we're coming for you! Tonight, Canadian draw!
Generally, wherever you are, metal is always the underdog musically. There's other musics that more people like, and when you like that and you find someone else that likes it too, you sort of throw out preconceived notions of that person immediately when you find out that they like metal. Like, that person likes metal too, I can talk to them about this, because there isn't that many people that do it, and then you end up talking to those people and you form relationships and friends and partnerships and bands. I'm sure that's how bands start too. So.
I don't think it's popular around the world. It's getting more popular, but it's one of those things that people identified with, no matter where they're from.
Like, Slayer is Slayer, no matter where you are. You know what Slayer's about. Like, if you wore that shirt, or like Iron Maiden shirt. Like, someone could wear a flag, right? But if you don't know anything about, you know, the trials and tribulations of that country, you can't necessarily relate. But if someone wears a Slayer shirt or an Iron Maiden shirt or Metallica shirt, you know what they're about, right? And it's just an instant sort of connection. You got something in common, like you said, immediately, and you can base friendships on that, right? It's a good basis.
No, you won't see that.
You won't see that.
Okay.
This side of the curtain is basically like from one side.
That looks like a hell of a workout.
I immigrated from Russia 5 years ago, so I was in my 16 years old when I left, and metal has been very underrated there, and subculture itself very pressured from the government and the society, so people would have to, you know, cut their hair, not really maintain the image, so no leather coats too much, and I remember even my friends and I would be getting in troubles on the streets because my guy friends would have long hair, and some gopniks would come along and say, well, what's wrong with you, or so you're a Metallica fan. I think it's important to note that metal has been proving through years how changing can be and go hand in hand with time and time change. There's so many subgenres, and we have bands like Arcona, who are from Russia in fact, and have made it really good for themselves worldwide because they took influences from our traditional music and culture So I can think that any single person on this planet can find somebody for themselves within the genre of metal, because there are hundreds of subgenres, and even a country lover or a pop lover, in fact, can be surprised how it's not just growling all the time, and they're singing and really catchy tunes.
Oh, I think it's good. Чтобы он такой, ну еще 50. А то я знаю вас, ваши музлы русские. Никогда не знаешь. Yes, it's still going on. Давай. Tighter. Ну-ка, дыши через нос. Давай, вот так. Ну-ка, не дуйся, как бублик.
Alright. You wanna be in Protokult video, you gotta wear a corset.
Okay, так, отлично. Дотянули.
It's all good.
We can get that totally closed on her. Oh my god, we can't, because she's so tight, she has no fat.
Okay.
Metal's everywhere. I know it's not the biggest scene in any countries, but you know, anywhere you go, there's like a hint of metal. In some places it's big or small, but you know, you can't kill the metal. So
As it should be.
yes, it's immortal.
I really think that it's fantastic how metal over the past like 20, 30 years has really become so cosmopolitan, where bands are playing the likes of Japan, Korea, China, El Salvador, Paraguay, India, Australia, New Zealand, and even some bands have even gotten lucky to play South Africa, the likes of Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, etc., etc. I think it's absolutely amazing how metal has really reached a global audience, because even the ones that are in countries where there's dictatorships and with, you know, religious fanatics, you know, they want to just, you know, give that to them, you know, because, you know, metal is basically our religion. We don't need church, we don't need the Bible, we don't need the Quran, we don't need, you know, the Torah, etc., etc., etc. Like, we have our own Bible, and that is metal.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go! That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. Let's drink till the fuck you, let's drink till the fuck you, let's...
Certain genres go up and down with popularity. It seems to me right now like black metal and doom metal sort of more popular now than they were before. As in terms of demographics, I find there's a lot more women in those like black metal, doom metal scenes. It seems like, yeah, death metal. It's kind of a boys show for the most part. Of course, there are women that enjoy it and come to the shows, but mostly it's unchanged.
Yeah, my observations over the last few years anyway, traditional metal, doom metal, thrash metal, definitely more women in Toronto, but I think that comes as well with just the increase in people coming out in general, but definitely not quite up to other places that I've been, especially in Quebec, Montreal. I find it's a little bit more 50-50 with women compared to men. In Toronto, definitely I've seen a lot more diversity in terms of ethnicity as well, at least at the shows that I attend.
I've seen people coming in from Japan and all over Europe, and I've gotten personally people come to my shows, and I'd be like, oh, how's it going? They're like, oh, it's my first time in Canada. I'm from Belgium. I just got off the plane to come in here to see the show. Like, that's happened to me from various people a few times, so that's kind of cool.
Drink to the fucking, drink to the more.
Roll. Set your roll.
specifically, I say that I can find a better place than Canada to do such things because we are treated with respect, and even to men-fronted bands, in fact, they're very supportive, and I feel like the whole scene is very family-like. I have friends from BC and from Ontario, and everybody knows each other and helps to promote everybody's music regarding of gender. Plus there's so many talented musicians in Canada, and music education in general here is of really high level. We're lucky.
Точнее, где девчина брала ты?
Ну, там лезет, по-моему.
А, ну да. Дорогие. Ну, они классные, у меня кроты есть, библиотечные от них. Классные. Discussing leather and its properties. How good it is for your skin because it breathes. Well, it's better than fox leather, that is just swelling like shit.
I have my own assistants here.
Ну что, готов? Разбираю.
Так, давай сразу на сайт, чтобы...
А может, bardzo ładnie się bawi.
It's okay. I'll be back. I'll fly. Thank you, girls.
Tonight we're coming for you. Tonight coming to you.
Coming out for me, I think it was more of a personal challenge than it was coming out in the metal community. By that point, you know, Halford had long been out, Doug Pinnick had been out, and you know, shortly after, the guys in Cynic would come out and that kind of thing. So it wasn't so much of an issue within the metal community. It was more a personal issue to really come to terms with my sexuality, and to sort of deal with it on a person-to-person basis, and just realize that I'm going to be who I am no matter what. That's not going to change, so how people react around me, I have no control over. But when it came to telling metalheads, I've had nothing but acceptance. I actually did a YouTube video a couple years ago called LGBT and Metal, and I examined this kind of topic, and I looked at Rob Halford's coming out story, and he very much said the same thing. He said when he came out, it wasn't really an issue. I feel with coming out within metal, I think for metalheads, you know, metalheads are notoriously known as sort of the intellectual group of fans. You know, metal is a very challenging, very demanding genre, and study after study shows that when they interview metalheads on these topics, metalheads come across as, you know, the most caring, the most accepting group, or one of the most anyways, when it comes to being fans of certain genres. So I've not experienced any homophobia.
What is headbanging for Cure? Its goals and achievements so far.
Okay, well, Headbang for Cure, Tristan and I have been doing for, as I said, since 2012. It came after the abrupt ending to my mother's life from that disease. So we decided to do something constructive to get the community together, to educate them about the disease and different strains as well as the scientific advancements, and that's a big component of what we do with it. So far, we took a year off in 2016, so we had a lot going on, but we're coming back again this September at the Rivoli. This will be our 5th event, and we will be surpassing the $10,000 mark for fundraising.
And how does it bring the community together?
It does bring the community together. I have people who have followed it since the very first year in different capacities, from volunteering to perform to just coming out even if they're not playing, and spreading the word about the event that we're doing and what we're doing for the community. Sometimes we're all over the place. I know Tristan confirms a lot of the bands are a little bit more extreme. I do some more of the traditional metal, thrash metal, doom metal. So I think it's a good opportunity for, you know, people from all those little niches to get together for the music and for the cause as well.
Yeah, and just the community at large too, because through the help of Andrew Epstein from Zombie Patrol
Yep.
Productions. He during the mayoral campaign in 2014, 15. Yeah.
2015.
Yeah. He reached out to some of the candidates, and they actually 2 of them showed up to the show. That was DeWitt Lee and Sarah Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her name, right? Yeah. Okay. And we even got a shout out from Olivia Chow. She even like did a little video for it and threw up the horns, which was kind of funny. So yeah, and we got radio spots, little radio spots here promoting it. So it was cool. It got a little buzz about the community, and
Yeah, you did a lot of good PR for us.
they stole her beer one time. That pissed me off.
They're just the worst band to work with.
Yeah,
When they played Headbang for a Cure back in 2014, was it?
Yeah.
Man, they took forever to set up, just taking their damn old time. Worst band to work with. Hate Protokult.
Yeah.
Hate them.
Even trying to book them, Martin's all drunk. Just typing all fucked up.
Worst.
Yeah, the worst.
Okay, I'll just do the mom, sorry. I'll do this quickly.
Just the middle one.
Yeah, just the middle one. Get her ready for the shoot. Alright.
Are they waiting on us up there?
I don't know what the deal is.
Because I could continue preparing forever. Okay.
Like I said, told Conor McGregor, coming with a flag around me. Yeah. So I'm doing it. Awesome. I'll just try to be a little less obnoxious than him.
Obviously you will.
He is kind of funny sometimes, though. That's the thing. That's why losing at Diaz is humbling so much. After he just kept his head down in practice and kept his mouth shut.
Yeah, which is the thing to do.
Shit, I can lose a fight like that.
Exactly.
But that's also why you don't build it up that much, because then you can talk how much trauma going. If you lose.
So the conception of Oi Canada came to me on a hungover train trip in Korea. I was sightseeing, and I guess you could say I had a longing for home, being raised in Canada most of my life. And I really started to wonder and appreciate that Canada, in terms of nature beauty, it's really majestic landscape, and it's possibly the greatest place on earth for me. So it was a bit of longing for that, and as I sat there sipping on this Asian piss water, I really appreciated the great beer Canada has, especially craft beer. And on top of that, just about, I know some cultures, some people may feel oppressed or kind of embarrassed for their appreciation of metal music, and I just wanted to portray how awesome and welcoming and diverse Canada is when it comes to representing your personality and musical tastes. So I had this giant epic chorus in my head, and I'm like, yes, this song is about Canada. And in recent times we've had some issues about the anthem getting the words changed and altered. So I'm like, you know what, this is our anthem, from us to you.
So when the band originally started playing shows, I was very surprised at how diverse of an audience we have received. And this really inspired me to see that through this subculture, all these various cultures we were able to connect. That really inspired me to create a video that not only says thank you to Canada, where we've all met together coming from different countries, but I made a lot of friends from different cultures and backgrounds through this subculture that we all share.
The challenges that we've faced was probably that we invited a lot of people to participate in our video, and a lot of them couldn't make it. And what was interesting that some did not come in to participate in video for a fear of persecution due to political circumstances in their background cultures. So that really reminds us how here in the West we're so privileged in a way to just even listen to this favorite music of ours. We can go openly to concerts, do metal videos, and some people do not have the luxury. So unfortunately some of our friends could not come in because they still want to go back to their countries, and for fear of that political persecution they just could not participate. So perhaps that was one of the most challenging things.
And I had to be there the whole time. The rest of you who couldn't make it for other reason, you're all flakes. Remember that. Shame on you.
To the docks of Maritimes, for the land
One, two, go, go, go!
massive waves and massive lakes, all has got to you.
Yeah, that was awesome. Okay, we're good. That was it, we got it.
So we'd like to thank all of our friends that were a part of this music video shoot. I'd like to point out that getting our friends made this feel much more genuine rather than hiring actors to be a part of the music video.
As well as we'd like to thank all the new friends that we made during this process. Thank you so much for all of you who responded to our call and came along to our music shoot.
Enjoy the video, and this is our thank you to you, Canada. Cheers.
Cheers.
So, ladies ever been with a Canadian guy before? We're pretty exotic and everything.